Ms. Rollins, right now, farm workers in Ventura County are picking strawberries in a brown haze, smoke from the fires. It's a surreal scene to look at images of working in those conditions. These are just some of the difficult conditions that farm workers are often in. They're working in 100-degree heat. They're working in the cold. They're some of the hardest working people I've ever met. And I want to raise the issue of the impact that mass deportations would have on them. First and foremost, on people who are working so hard to put food on our table, and just the, to me, grave injustice of deporting people who are doing such vital work to feed us. There's also the impact on their families. Many of them have children who are U.S. citizens and will be U.S. citizens. And so it would have the effect of splitting up their families. And even if we set that aside, which we shouldn't, it's estimated that perhaps half of California's farm workforce is undocumented. So my question is, how are you supposed to farm? How are farmers in California supposed to survive if there are truly mass deportations in which half of the workforce is sent out of the country? How Americans don't want to do that work. It's frankly just too backbreaking. So who's going to work the farms?
Senator, I know we talked about this in your office and had a productive, perhaps agreed to disagree, but still productive conversation, and I so appreciate that. We've talked about this within this committee in the last 3 or 4 hours as well. President Trump ran and was overwhelmingly elected on the priority of border security and mass deportation. He is and his team are, I'm assuming, currently putting in place the plans to begin that process, of course, first with those who have committed criminal offenses once they have been here. The American people have asked for a secure border and a system where they do not have to be concerned with the millions and millions that crossed here illegally and brought a lot of strife and unsafe communities to America. And I know this is not the committee where we discuss this, and I know you probably, the last thing you want to do is get into a debate right now over it, because I sure don't want to. But let me answer your question. I will work around the clock with our new labor secretary, if she's confirmed, Lori Chavez DeRimmer. There is obviously, I think everyone would agree, H-2A important changes that need to be made to recognize within the agriculture community the importance of a strong labor force.
Well, I still want to get back to my question, though. If they're gone, who's going to do that work?
Well, sir, we don't know, first of all, who they are, right? I mean, we all throw numbers around like 40%, 50%, 60%. The answer is we just don't know. And as these processes and programs are being implemented under this new administration with the full support of the majority of Americans, I think that we, as the leaders in agriculture, myself as the leader at USDA, you on this committee, along with others on the committee, that we will work together to understand and hopefully solve for some of these problems. The dairy cattle have to be milked, but if we've got a mass deportation program underway, then there's a lot of work that we need to do through the Labor Department with Lori Chavez DeRimmer, who's also an ag person, and working with Congress to solve for a lot of this through our current programs, our current labor programs that are already on the books.